Morning.
Morning.
So Stanford's done a little bit more of that slow mesh this year. What have you seen out of their offense?
I think obviously really well coached. David is one of the top coaches in college football. Quarterback is outstanding. One of the top quarterbacks that we'll face. And I think that's the one thing about this year in the Pac-12 is there's some really, really good quarterbacks. We faced one last week. Utah's got a great one. Penix has got a great one. Dorian's playing really well. Caleb Williams is playing really well. So, but I think it starts with Tanner. I think he's a really good decision maker. He has 3 huge targets on the outside that can go up and get the football. You know, they throw some contested balls and those guys go get it. So, you know, it's a handful because of the weapons that they have at receiver. And if you're in coverage a lot and try to take those guys away, then they can hurt you in the run game. And I think Tanner's making really good decisions, especially in the run game and their RPOs.
Defensively, it looks like they've had a little bit more success the last couple of weeks. Have they changed anything when you're looking at the film?
Yeah, I think their last 3 games, Oregon State, at Notre Dame, and then last week against Arizona State, I thought their defense played outstanding. And is really flying around on the defensive side of the ball. They're really good in coverage. They're always close to receivers all the time. You don't see wide open guys on film when you're watching Stanford play. And I think their linebackers are really tough, physical, and active guys. So they have played really well, especially in the last 3 games. But I thought they played pretty well I thought they played most of the games pretty good on the defensive side of the ball.
After 2 days of training, how do you feel like your team has responded?
They've been great. They were great first meeting Monday morning. Obviously it's a long season. You play 12 games, you only get 12 opportunities. And you can't let 1 game equal 2 games. And what I mean by that is if you get beat once, you can't let that team beat you again. I think sometimes that's your attitude is, you're feeling sorry for yourself. But we don't get that around here. We also have great leadership with our older players, the Blaylocks, the Dorians, the Bobos, the Molasslings. Those guys have been great, and so it starts with them. Their energy and juice that they brought on Monday was really good to see. And our 3 big work days during the week are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we got to continue what we did on Monday and Tuesday into today.
Speaking of Molasling, I know Ben asked you about him on Monday. In terms of just what he's been able to do, obviously you don't want your free safety to have that many tackles, but what have you been seeing from him?
Yeah, just great fits in the run game. Really an active kid. He's such a studier of game tape and film. That he's got a really good feel of what offenses are going to try to do to attack defenses, and knows when we're in certain defenses what we're going to probably get attacked with. He did a really good job tackling. He's really, I think the one thing about him is not only did he have 17 tackles, I'm not sure he had any missed tackles either. So, he's really sure in tackling. He's done a great job for a veteran like Mo to come back and to provide that stability and that support from the free safety position has been really important for us on the defensive side.
Have you seen him grow in his career? He's been here longer than pretty much anyone.
Yeah, been here longer than me. So, Mo's great. I think everything you want in a student athlete. He's got an undergrad degree, will have a graduate degree. He's done everything right since we've been here. Really is a great leader for the young guys on how to do it. He's not a screamer and a yeller, but when he takes a guy aside and says, hey, this is why we do this, he walks the walk before he talks the talk. So Mo's been outstanding for us this year.
How dialed in has the defense been as a whole? What are some habits, behaviors this week that you've liked from them?
They've been good. I think this is a really, really good practice team, and they've done a great job all season long and through last spring of being dialed in and understanding what we have to do when we get out here on the practice field. So, I don't think there's been anything different this week as opposed to any other weeks. They've been really consistent in terms of their preparation. So.
After talking to the players the last 2 days, accountability seems to be a really big theme. How easier does it make the coaching staff's job when guys like Dorian, guys like Mo are talking about still things that they could have done?
Well, that's what it's like for everybody. I think everybody, takes a part when you have a win, and everybody takes a part when you have a loss, and that's coaches and players included. So, this isn't a finger-pointing operation. As everybody takes responsibility for what their part of the win is, and everybody takes responsibility for what their part of the loss is. So, I think that's inherent throughout the program from everybody. And I think when you have leaders that embody that, then that's what kind of makes that easier. But that's something that you preach as a coach every single day. It's all of us. We do everything as a collective. We win as a team and we lose as a team. And so you got to take responsibility. The first way to correct a mistake is you have to own the mistake. And I think our guys have done that and done a really good job with it. And we'll continue to grow and learn.
I had a 4th down question from Saturday. The second field goal in the second quarter, was there any thought to go for that one, the 4th and 5?
Yeah, there was, but just the numbers will tell you that the chance to convert to wasn't as high as what I thought it was to get to. And at that point in time, he just wanted to get points. So
I know game state can play into it in the second half, like time and score. Obviously, does that play into it at all in the first half, or is it more just
it
kind of the
all
chart?
plays into it. There's a concept where you have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Always plays into every decision that you make. So time and game always makes a decision as a factor in terms of what we're making a decision on where we're going to go or not go.
I think in the past you've said that you like the noon games, the earlier games. Do you see any benefits to playing at later at night, the 7:30 games?
I see zero benefit. Television, money.
What don't you like about it?
Because you want to wake up, you want to play. You don't want to sit around and wait all day to do something that you train yourself that you want to do. If you're a competitor, you want to get up, you want to play football. So, the benefit is just a financial benefit because it's on TV. But I don't think any player or any coach wants to say, hey, just what do you want to do tomorrow? Well, let's sit around all day and do something tomorrow night. Like that's not what competitors want to do. They want to play.
Does that change your weekly practice
Yeah,
schedule preparation?
our
practices?
preparation on Saturday is always contingent upon what time the game time is. So, we have wake up time, shakeout, and all those different things are all contingent upon when the game is, when our pregame meal is, all that stuff. That's all dialed in. So once we get the kick time, then we just slot it into how we do what our schedule is, how many hours before the game we eat, so that we have the proper amount of time to digest. What time do we do shakeout? What time do we have breakfast? All that stuff is all factored in. So.
How would you assess how the cornerbacks have done to this point?
The cornerbacks?
Yeah, your corners.
Yeah, I think they've done a really good job. I think Devin and Kirk and Jalen Davies is playing a little bit out there. Aziz plays out there when we're not in nickel. I really like the group. I think we have some depth there. We got some length there. They're taller, longer, but they're really competitive. And the two young guys, Hump and Kirk, and then you throw Jalen in there because Aziz has played and is an older player as a transfer. But those three guys I think have done a really good job on the perimeter for us. All right, guys.